Look at
Mhm.
Coinbase. Is Coinbase breaking up above that 20-day? And the one thing that comes into play huge here, huge, is the big rally that we saw in Bitcoin after we were done talking yesterday morning. Bitcoin took
Yeah.
off and has now a potential target of 22,000 where it could take off and go even further. If that does, just like you and I were talking, that derivative trade, and it actually traded above 22,000 this morning, Bitcoin did.
Mhm,
That
mhm,
derivative
mhm.
trade that we talked about in Coinbase turns into a big one where 57 bucks goes up to 65 pretty quickly.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I'm glad that you brought this one up, CJ, because yesterday live we were talking about coin, and while it is in a
Right.
bearish volume profile, you are better off in this case for short-term trades. Anytime you rip, it's a higher probability to short for a short-term profit taking, right? For day trading. And that's
Correct.
exactly what we're seeing here. However, we are building a little bit of a base higher, right? I mean, we're having higher highs, higher lows here. So the tip top I see in coin, if we can continue going up with this fashion, you have the 50-day moving average and you have the top of this node at 72.
Yep. Yep.
Is that what you're seeing?
That's exactly what I'm seeing.
Wow.
72
We are
bucks, man. And it
72. And
hasn't
look at
touched its
CJ.
50 days since April, which was the last time that we were well above 22,000 at that point. But
Yep.
obviously, yeah, I mean, this would be and for those looking for a catalyst for the market to actually go higher next week, this is it. Because everybody's afraid right now because they continue to hear about exchanges, these crypto exchanges that are in bad shape. I mean, liquidation style shape, and that is reminiscent of what we saw in the .com era. If that slows and you see this risk on asset come back online, so to speak, then I think that 22,000 is your trigger point for exactly what you're saying. A Coinbase to go from 57, 58 up to that
Yeah.
72. That's a rip.
Let me
That's
ask you this, CJ. How would you posture that? Because I mean, that's going to take some time. We're not saying this is going to happen overnight. Obviously, to ramp up over 10 points, this needs some time. What kind of options would you be looking at if you wanted to play with options? What date?
I would not fool around with anything that's expiring before August. I would buy time on this one and I would not buy space. You know how my rule goes when I'm buying options. I either buy time or space or neither. That meaning, if I'm going to buy space, I'm basically buying something that's right out of the money, or at the money or in the money if I'm, uncertain. Because of
Mm.
this being it's a lower risk trade, so I want to put less into it per se. I go out of the money on this. And to make up for that out of the money, I say, okay, well, now I'm just going to buy time. So I've got time for that to play out. You go with the August 19 and you look somewhere, I don't even know what they're trading, but I would look somewhere up in the 60 range, 62 range, maybe even 65 range. The 65s go for, who, man. These
I'm
are some
looking
pricey
now.
options. Yeah, these 65s are going 5 by 6, 575 by 6, and that's before
Damn.
the open right now. And that's it's 111 implied, but that's what you're going to pay with Coinbase right now.
Mhm.
Um, so don't think of it as being expensive. Think of it as relative, just a higher cost of entry for the trade. But yeah, this thing, and you're still talking about 600 bucks a contract. So it's not like it's throwing down 50 bucks on a contract. Maybe you spread it out and look at the 75s, or even the 70s, do the 60 70s, and 60 70s get you, what, you're easily $8. You're still paying for $3.60 for that spread. So, but you've got a lot of room
Mhm.
to play with that as well. So just a couple ideas on Coinbase. Watch 22,000. That's your trigger. Then you circle back with
Mhm.
me or Voz or somebody and say, hey, what about that Coinbase trade? And we'll give you the details then. How's that?